And we're here with a Forex market breakdown for you on December 20th, 2019. Can you believe it? We're winding down December. There's only 11 days left in the year 2019, and then we're off to 2020, a whole new decade. All right, before we get into our webinar, let's just pull up our disclaimer to remind you that this webinar is for illustrative purposes only. And with that accounting being done, let's jump into our Friday analysis. So our live action screen here, we have our Forex-Trading-Unlocked.com website pulled up, and our workstation page, which is right here in the middle of our top menu bar, has already been pulled up. So economic calendar, let's see if we don't have, let's see, Michigan sentiment came out. Let's see, core PCE, consumer confidence in Euro, down a little bit. Nothing really else left to go. December 22nd, let's see, we have leading indicators revised for the Japanese yen, not that big of a deal. The 23rd, let's see, PMI in Germany, M3 for Switzerland, durable goods for the United States. So there are some numbers that will be coming up on the 23rd. Let's see what we have. That would be for Monday, PMI, and then, yeah, that is pretty much it for the beginning of next week. So let's see what's going on. We have a little bit of a sell-off going on in the Euro US dollar, as you can see. We're going to take off this news section here, and let's get rid of the volume and see how we're doing. So right now we're laying on the offer at 110.85. As you can see, though, this is really not much of a range over the past week and a half after we made this higher move high up by 112 even. So really not very much to go on here, but then we are in holiday markets. And the Euro US dollar is reflective as the way it's been trading for basically over a year now, which is pretty sideways and not very much of activity to the upside or downside. We're not a lot of follow through in this market very much at all. So what do we have going on right now? We're just coming back here off this major low here. We set this high, or excuse me, this big low here, and we set a higher move high last week. And now we've been kind of bombling around, and we're obviously laying on support again today. So what does this mean? Where are we at? Well, I'll tell you what, we're not really going anywhere. Is it bearish? Is it bullish? Well, overall, the market is in a nice short-term uptrend. Overall, it's pretty obvious to see this market's been sideways for months. I mean, if you really cap this range, you can see that it's been a struggle of a trade for bulls and bears. So let's put this 111.5 as a barrier right here, just to kind of show you the mean for the range that we've been dealing with. And then we'll put this right here at 110 even, just above that. So if you see these two green lines here, look at this. This is where the market has basically been range bound for since the beginning of this, in the middle of the summer. So is the market basing? Well, basing usually doesn't take this long. So this is more of a, I would say, just the value of where the euro is at. It's no matter what. It's when the dollar index gets hit, and the dollar index is in a very tight range too over the past year. It's the tightest range it's been in since 1976. That's a pretty long time considering that we've had lots of reasons to have the currencies swinging around this year, and obviously it hasn't been that impactful. So let's see what's going on with the British pound USD and see how our other European currencies are dealing right now. So as you can see, the pound US dollar had a nice sell-off all week, and today is actually taking profit. So we have a little mixed bag of goods between the two major currencies versus the dollar. And in fact, just to show kind of what's going on with the dollar, let's take a look and see how it led up to today. Now the dollar index has been under pressure. Now we only have a little bit left in the month left to trade. Now as you can see that the dollar index has had a little bit of relief over the past few sessions. Now I want to give you a little something to take note of. We have this little buy signal that occurred last week right here. Let me clear out the haze here. Oops, wrong one. Let's do that. And then here we go. Okay. And that'll be a little bit easier for you to see. All right, so here we have this lower move low that had been stamped out here. And then we had a nice reversal bar. Now this is a short-term buy signal. It's a Japanese candlestick pattern. And after trending lower, when you get a situation like this, now does that mean a complete reversal of trend? No, by no means. What it usually indicates is a short-term bounce for a neutral to reverse trend trade, which right now it has had the neutral trade, and I would say that it's actually going to settle into a more neutral to lower trade. As you can see, the overall trend now for the dollar index has been down now for months, and it's a nice little slope too. So for us to gravitate back up to the slope here and then fall back off is not outside of the realm of possibility. As you can see from this high, we've had this low, lower move high, lower move low. So right now, as long as this high stays in place, I think the market will definitely stay in a bearish posture as we head into the new year. And that's something to think about too, because we had a bearish sell signal that occurred in October. The market broke all month long. November, we had a nice little corrective phase, and then we broke all the way into December again, making newer move lows. And this is a nice little bobbling area. If you see, like we had with the Euro US dollar, we had a big range that we were dealing with. So if you go from here and cap it out right around here, just below our above our high from here, you can see the dollar index, just like the euro, has been pretty much in a range trade for the past. In fact, the euro is almost like an upside down reflection of the dollar index. That being said, I think that right now you're seeing the market run out of gas today with the dollar index. It's the last of its little rally. I think that over the course of today into Monday, Sunday night, Monday, you're probably going to see the dollar turn back down towards support. And then into Christmas holiday, markets probably most likely see a little bit of weakness. There's not much number as far as the economic numbers to come out next week to really change this forecast. So let's go to the US dollar CHF and see once again, excuse me, our last little European currency. Now here you have a lift. Notice how this has been breaking all week, kind of going with the dollar index. But look at this, there's a big rally going on. So the dollar index is kind of unchanged on the day, and obviously is gaining strength against the euro in a big way, but the pound, not so much. Now the pound and the euro, remember, are the two biggest weights in the dollar index. And now we have the US dollar Swiss, which is turning also, showing strength in the US dollar and obviously weakness in the Swiss. Now, the US dollar Swiss, ironically, while the US dollar had been railing for the past few sessions, the US dollar Swiss have been going the opposite way, and now it's turning here. So, does that mean that we're going to see dollar strength come into the market versus the Swiss? Probably not. We had a rejection at parity a few weeks back. And as we made these new move lows, we've continued to bury that. So I think that right now you're going to see possibly a nice little correction in the US dollar Swiss, maybe up to this 98.5 level, maybe even the 99 even area. So let's see what's going on with the US dollar yen, which has been pretty interesting when it comes to the dollar index correlation. We're loading up. And as you can see, the yen has been pressing up against resistance, and this market, no matter how the dollar gets beaten down, the US dollar yen seems to be in a converse trade. So that being said, I think that if we do have a turn back to support for the dollar index, which is the most likely situation to occur over the next week and a half, it's probably not going to hit the US dollar yen too hard. In fact, if anything, you might see the US dollar yen start to peak probe into newer higher move highs, kind of up towards this 110, maybe even up towards the 111 area over the thin howdy market sessions. Let's see what's going on with the US dollar, Australian dollar. This market's been all over the place lately with some crazy volatility. As you can see, it's very indecisive, but now it's leaning back towards the support. And here we had this higher move high here. We had a low, lower move high, lower move low, lower move high. So right now we're definitely leaning towards support once again. Now this goes on with US dollar weakness. So if the dollar index starts to really get hurt, you'll probably see most likely some follow through towards support. Now let's look at the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and see what's going on there. This market has been quite the bullish trend. Just inching higher and a couple little bursts, but no matter what the dollar index does, this seems to want to keep on pushing forward. So I would say the New Zealand dollar bull is probably in place, especially if the dollar index starts to take another hit. So that's what we have going on in the Asian currencies. Now let's see what's going on with the Canada. The Canada, like a balloon underwater. Now this is a really nice buy signal here, folks. If the Canada settles where it's at right now or somewhere around this upper area, I want you to take notice of what's going on here. We have a 3-day buy signal that is being created here. So we stamped this lower move low 2 sessions ago. Yesterday, you can see we had this nice little harami pattern, which is a Japanese candlestick short-term buy pattern. When the market's been trending lower, when you have that, and now today we have this follow through. Now I'm not going to confirm this pattern because I don't want to jinx it, but this is a 3-day buy signal forming. And like I said, if it settles here, then we are going to have a nice little buy signal, a high probable Japanese candlestick pattern that should have this market coming back up towards this 132.5 for a little challenge of resistance before the overall trend lower or goes higher, continues to go higher. But at least right now with this buy signal, we have to wait till the close of today, because if it comes all the way back down and goes negative or something like that, well, that totally changes our scenario. So we don't want to jump in front of the gun and try and make a prediction of what is or is not going to happen. So we want to have confirmation on this signal. So here's what I want you to take a look at. Today we looked at all these markets. We definitely want to see where the dollar index settles this week to kind of give us a gauge for the first holiday week of the year, or second to last holiday week of the year coming up for the Christmas holiday. Remember, we're going to have markets are closed on Christmas Day next week. Thin markets and half-day markets on the 23rd and or excuse me, the 24th. So these are things to keep in mind and to be definitely mindful of. There doesn't look like very many opportunities in the euro US dollar, the pound US dollar, and such. But right now, we do have, like I said, we have a trading signal brewing here in the US dollar Canada. So you won't be able to take advantage of this until either right before the close today, or you have to wait until Sunday morning. But we will have another video to get into what is going on with these patterns, and especially this, because this is our one signal of the week, maybe one of our last signals of the year. So we're going to look on of all the markets, the US dollar Canada trade going into next week. That will be our sign. So take note of today's 3-day pattern that will be being confirmed after the close. Now remember, anything can happen. It's early. The U.S. market's just opened. For all we know, the dollar could take a tumble, the Canada can come back, and all of a sudden our signal is negated. So don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Remember, you have to wait for the close of today. So potential buy signal going on in the US dollar Canada. And if you want to learn more about these buy signals and sell signals that are candlestick patterns, read a book called High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns, available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle version. Through it, you can utilize the best buy and sell patterns used for over 400 years to give yourself a competitive edge against the markets. So to give you a little Christmas gift, starting tomorrow, there is on Amazon.com, you can get high probable Japanese candlestick patterns for free on the Kindle version. That is correct. So anyone that's watching this video or any of our videos over the next few days will have the secret to getting this book for free on Kindle. All you got to do is go to Amazon and download it. Just to let you know, after that, you'll have to buy it again. But for Christmas, we're giving a nice little free version of the Kindle, or excuse me, the Kindle version is going to be given away for free up until Christmas for 5 days, the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, and the 25th. So starting this weekend, you can, if this pattern, this buy pattern in the US dollar Canada does manifest, you can learn all about that pattern and also how to trade it as well in that book for free. So over the weekend, here's what can happen. If we get the buy signal in the US dollar Canada that is confirmed, you can then you can get the free Kindle, you can read all about the pattern and learn how to exercise trades in multiple markets, including obviously the Forex markets, the futures markets, the options markets, and how to take advantage of that buy situation. So with that being said, good luck with your trading today on this Friday, and remember, we have holiday markets coming up, so use caution and be very mindful of that. Thank you very much, and always please check us out at www.forex-trading-unlocked.com, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us build up our following. Thank you very much. And don't forget about the free download of High Probable Japanese Candlestick Patterns on Amazon.com.